The final evaluation of the EU CSO LA Project, enhancing CSO LA participation and governance, implemented in the Western Area, Bo, Bombali, and Kono districts of Sierra Leone from 2019 to 2021. This evaluation was commissioned by Actionaid International Sierra Leone. This document has been prepared for Actionaid and its partners. However, it reflects the views only of the authors, and the project consortium cannot be held responsible for any use which may be made of the information contained therein. The project. In Sierra Leone, the program ran from 2017 to 2021. It was tagged Enhancing CSO LA's Participation in Governance, and it was implemented in 4 districts with an allocation of approximately 1.2 million euros. The project builds on a strategic engagement between the civil society organizations, local authorities, local councils, and MDAs. It laid particular emphasis on the importance of inclusiveness and accountability, with particular reference to women and girls, persons with disabilities, and other excluded groups. Key components of the project included a CSO capacity assessment, an introduction to the territorial approach to local development, the development and use of community scorecards, and the development and use of budget tracking. The evaluation. The evaluation aimed to provide an independent assessment of the EU CSO LA project, identify lessons learned, and make recommendations to inform future programming, focusing on civil society, local councils and MDAs, and local authorities. It aimed also to examine the results obtained on capacity development, policy, democratic governance, and the satisfaction of the evaluation criteria. The evaluation methodology. The methodology and tools used for this evaluation included an evaluation assessment, a local citizen survey, a CSO member survey, focus groups, and key interviews with the beneficiaries and constituents, and an in-depth OECD criteria review. At inception, we reviewed the TRs and the scope of the evaluation and noted the baseline and midline data already available. There was some desk information available, even though we could not find a theory of change on this project among the documents provided for our review. The major focus was on collecting data and information from the local levels, and this was done through visits in the 4 districts. Data collection continued over 12 days, reaching most partners and staff on the project, as well as the CSOs and the local authorities. 118 local citizens were interviewed for the citizen survey based on the 12 pillars of good governance and the territorial approach to local development. The evaluation scale. With a comprehensive set of tools, we were able to collect the necessary data and triangulate the information from different sources to validate or invalidate the assessment criteria. We synthesized the main findings by corroborating them with alternative sources, especially in cases where the partner organization was unavailable to provide first-hand answers or data. We ranked the evaluation evidence on a scale of 0 to 4. 4 being strong, where range of evidence sources had good triangulation, and 0 being none, where there was not enough information to make a judgment. The evaluation sample. The The evaluation sample included 118 citizens, staff of the project, CSO members, heads of CSOs, heads of CSO networks, line ministry representatives, local authority representatives, women activists and people with disabilities, youths and people with disability activists. The evaluation team. The evaluation team consisted of a team lead, Olufela Adeyemi, a logistics field manager, Sule Ogundele, value for money assessor, Maurice Juma, a decentralization expert, Amadou Darami, and a decentralized field team in each of the districts. Key evaluation findings. On relevance, the EU CSO LA project was relevant for Sierra Leone and its CSOs and local authorities. The quality of civil society consultation, budget tracking, and community scorecards are improving, but need a lot more effort to be embedded in the society's psyche to enable sustainable practice. Consultations with local authorities remain suboptimal, pushed by programs such as this, but not independently initiated by civil society, although there are some good examples in the implementation areas. The EU CSO LA project was successful in improving gender-responsive service delivery and promoting local economic development. On the partnership approach, Actionaid worked well with CCYA and CGG and cooperated with the CSOs, local authorities, and networks in a transformative and innovative manner. By providing CSOs with many grants, they were able to shore up the capacity of these organizations and assist them in reaching their partnership objectives. The budget tracking efforts and the community scorecards were seen as effective roadmaps. Short duration projects, however, have inadequate scope to create change, be sustainable, and be scaled up in case of success. In addition, many civil society organizations consider the EU procedures complex. The EU CSO LA project had extensive project-level reporting from the baseline to the midline and to the final project report. The project activities were closely monitored. On citizen awareness and education, the project clearly set out a role for citizens to play in advancing governance, budget tracking, gender-responsive service delivery, and development. The log frame and results framework were designed in such a way that the activity at district level is able to reach local communities. The partnership with CCYA and CGG was well organized.
Mohamed A. Fofana is my name, and I'm the head of programs and policy for Actionaid International Sierra Leone. Generally, Actionaid is impressed, very much satisfied with the implementation of this governance EU CSO LA project in the 4 districts, 8 chiefdoms, and 80 communities. With regards to our relationship with the implementing partners or the consortium partners, CCYA and CGG, these are local partners, these are local CSO, they are our peers and they have the required capacity and the competence to deliver alongside us. Even though there were challenges, but we are able to navigate through those challenges. That is the more reason why we are able to deliver with the expected results. Of course, CCYA implemented the project in Bo, and then CGG implemented in the western area. And all of the outcomes came out to be very good, and I'm very much sure the EU is pleased with the outcome. Yeah, the final evaluation was done, and the report shared with us, and by extension to the European Union. It is but important for us to note that the target of 24,000 people, we are more than reached because we are able to reach out to 30,000 people, 6,000 more. That implies a lot more of the targeted beneficiaries we are engaged, and their capacities we are able to be raised, and particularly so when the issue of accountability, participation, inclusion, and governance processes have been something we have been looking forward to. And this support or this project actually brought civil society organizations where we are able to capacitate them institutionally and with regards to the issues that are found in the various districts. And at the end of the project, they are now able to engage constructively with local councils and with other MDs to see how best their involvement and participation in local council developmental activities are done. And today you go into these 4 districts, you realize that the participation of civil society organizations are immense, particularly so when we have more women now participating as well as people living with disability. All of these are culminated as a result of the project implementation, which actually focused at looking at civil society operations, including women as well as people with disability.
My name is Marcela Sambasise, the Executive Director for Campaign for Good Governance. As part of this intervention, Campaign for Good Governance worked with 5 civil society organizations. And it is important to note that whilst we do this, capacity was built along the line so that civil society and local authorities can engage around common issues for gender responsive governance. This, in my opinion, has helped strengthen the sort of citizen-state interaction for better delivery of services and putting women at the center of development focus, especially at the local level.
I am Mohamed Conte, working for Campaign for Good Governance as the district project officer in the Western Area Rural District. We've carried about with activities surrounding the EU CSO LA Project. We as Campaign for Good Governance were able to train, build the capacity of CSO and 9 networks within around the country. The project where the project is being implemented. We are also able to do policy literacy. We organize a community scorecard, and then we also do community dialogue with the stakeholders so that we can enhance transparency and accountability. We share with the findings of the scorecard, and then we're able to do some findings and then meet with the district council and to build how best we can also break the barrier between the citizens and the council themselves.
The most significant change with this project bring about: 1, they involve people with disability. Then 2, they be able to involve with the youth then for making we able to attend the meeting regularly, so that we able to know the rights and responsibility, and we self can implement in our own areas. Yeah. So that now one of the most important things that way I like about this project. When we involve people with disability, don't know put we aside for say una don't condemn or una no know nothing. They involve we are.
The evaluation conclusions. This project was very relevant as it achieved some important results, even though it was quite lofty in its goals and may not have taken cognizance of some of the low-lying challenges on the ground. CSOs were well tailored to the Sierra Leone context. One thing that could be beneficial to the Sierra Leone governance system is the formation of a functional association of local authorities as an umbrella body of local governments. This would facilitate learning and replication of successful initiatives in the country as a whole and ensure that efforts are sustained over time. In the lifetime of this project, CSO capacity increased. From the baseline to the midline, there was overall impressive growth towards achieving targeted outputs. All 20 CSOs and 9 networks demonstrated enhanced organizational and technical capacities, built transformational leadership skills, and participatory monitoring, financial management, fundraising accountability skills. They trained for, developed and cascaded community scorecards, and they monitored the delivery of gender-responsive public services in all districts. The CSOs challenged barriers affecting the active participation of women, youth, and disabled people, and their engagement in governance and development processes were enhanced through civic education and mass media engagement. By the end of the project, CSOs which were weaker on internal governance had been further strengthened. As entry points for change prevention, however, service delivery projects were still suboptimal in promoting better governance and had limited impact and scalability. In addition, trade-offs had to be accommodated to enable practical progress because of the complex set of principles the project was operating under. Having 3 organizations in the consortium brought experiences into the project from different angles. This might, however, have led to some inefficiencies and challenges with field monitoring, but overall, the collaboration appears to have strengthened all of the organizations involved. Evaluation recommendations. In order for this project to be scalable and replicable to other districts, program information should be compacted in bite sizes for sharing across the potential beneficiary population to enable synergies to be achieved. A local council's association can be a credible partner and contribute to change as united advocacy bodies, helping individual local councils to employ good practice. The budget tracking and community scorecards provide roadmaps for enhanced strategic engagement. The Decentralization Secretariat should establish a regular dialogue with the local authorities, including CSOs and other relevant partners, taking into account lessons learned from this project so far and showcasing the decentralization policy reform and regular joint reviews. The projects and the local authorities need to continue to ensure gender-responsive service delivery using innovative approaches with wide transformative impact. There has to be a systematic tool for monitoring, reporting, and learning on capacity development of and provision of core organizational support, and disbursement-linked performance indicators. There needs to be an enhanced results framework. A theory of change and intervention logic will be vital tools for monitoring outcomes and lessons learned. The implementation of evaluation and stakeholder feedback would also be very useful in promoting an understanding of the program design. It will also provide feedback on such issues where stakeholders have provided substantive feedback to the project over its lifespan. This video report was produced by Actionaid Company Limited. Video components by Calcutta Digital. Video editor Temitayo Ajiboye.